Report. When we talk this term, report, I would like to welcome you to the second session of report writing. And so far as its meaning, origin and developments are concerned, we dedicated first session for the same. I would like to talk about report as noun and report as verb. Let us have a quick glance over the origin and the development before going to the second session of report writing. What are the objectives of the first session? These were a few major objectives. Like after going through this session, the participants will be able to know what is report, how pivotal is it in the professional life, what are the qualities of a good report, and so on and so forth. Next slide please. Let us look at the other objective, various aspects of report as technical writing, and develop an effective style for writing reports. How to write various types of report effectively. These are the objectives behind this session, and that is going to be extended over 2 sessions. So first is already over. We will be talking about a quick roundup of session 1 in report, excavating its origin and development. And here I would like to talk that we can look at the examples of 2 young kids who are quite similar in age, or hardly 1 or 2 years elder and younger. And we look at the example that how they are reporting or misreporting about their situations to their parents. Then a 3-4 year child for non-verbal reporting. This is I would like to focus on. It is a situation of non-verbal report. And in that non-verbal report, I would like to give you one example. Like you can imagine a 3 to 4 year kid in a family who is the center of the whole family, center of the attraction of whole family. Everybody loves him. And suddenly what happened? A day, some guests are there, some meeting is going on, kid is feeling ignored. In the night when there is no electricity and during the meeting, this is the homely environment of an Indian rural family. What happens? The kid is looking at everyone and he is noticing that nobody is paying attention to him. So he looks at the candle and started putting his finger forward towards the top of the candle. Somebody notices and says, "You will hurt yourself, you will burn yourself." The kid is drawing his finger back. A little later, he is noticing that somebody is watching at him or not. He moves another finger forward, then somebody shouts at him. What does this mean? If you will look at the deeper sense, you will notice that the kid is reporting that he needs attention. He needs attention of everybody. Why nobody is looking at him? And based on that, this is also another format of reporting. Reporting can be of any type and many types. If somebody is going to police and request for FIR, that is also a report. If you are talking to somebody that this happened, your attendance record, attendance register is also a report. Daily attendance putting there, and then sessional examination result, that is internal report, then external report. But before moving forward, let us have a brief definition. What is a report? A report is an objective, factual, truthful account of anything happened, seen or heard. So mostly we report about a past thing, past happening. But sometimes we also go for future prediction based on the logical establishment, and we try to project, foretell that this report is telling that after 10 years the pollution level will be up to this. Observing the present situation, the global warming will be like this, the level of global warming will be like this. Similarly, we would like to look at the conceptualizing report, the term itself. As we already know that it is a description, story, account, so far as dictionary meanings are concerned. to give people information about something that you have heard, seen, done. It is about past. Next please. So far as Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary is concerned, it describes report in the terms of as a report is a written or spoken account of an event, especially one that is published or broadcast. This is according to 2005 edition, 7th edition, published in 2005, page number 1286. Next slide please. Then so far as going to the meaning of that report, how many synonyms of report can be identified? Let us look. As now, a report of the accident, it can stand for account, can stand for statement, record, exposition, delineation. Let us look at how the report at work, the latest finding brings word about or announce, pass on, communicate, relate, tell, recount, give an account of, set forth, document, narrate, describe, delineate, detail, divulge, disclose, and faculate. These are the certain synonyms of the term report. Go to next slide please. Then let us, based on all that meaning and other earlier concepts, let us try to draw concluding remarks and define report. So thus report is an account or a statement about something that happened in the past. Etymologically, report means to carry back, and where re means back and potare means to carry. Thus the report is the description of some event or situation that has already happened in past. Next please. Report means a statement or description. These are the certain, you can say, drawing conclusion from the discussion and meaning, based on the meaning. Description of what has been said, seen, done, witnessed, etc. It contains facts, figures, information. Let us talk of the professional report. You are professional students and you need to develop professional report. Here, no verbal, non-verbal category, no formal, informal category, but what becomes most significant for you, that professional report and formal report and business report, that is of your use. And for that purpose, an organized information of the report should contain facts, figures, information, analysis, opinion, suggestions and recommendation. Let me stress on the point suggestions and recommendation. If somebody, a good report must have suggestion and recommendation, otherwise it is considered incomplete, not mature. It should have drafts, charts, pictures, statistical tables, specially compiled for a particular purpose. It must have a purpose. Next please. Thus, these are certain points according to the book Communication Skills, published in the year 2013, 6th impression, pages 511 and 512. We would like to discuss here only underlined parts. Formal communication, a report is prepared for specific purpose. It must have authentic information that can be quoted. It must be based on the facts. It must be prepared for well-defined audience. Audience is also of many types: literate, semi-literate, and fully literate. Then, based on literacy level, based on technology level, semi-technical audience, non-technical audience, technical audience. So that way one must know that who is the audience and for whom the report is prepared. And it must be framed in the particular usable language and define audience, then impartial and objective. Objective is just a term, but it is very tough to be objective in human life. Factual and truthful. It must be in the usable form. If audience is German speaking, you should not prepare the report in English. You should follow the language German. So it should be usable form. Prepared in the usable form. Collection and examination of data. Based on examination of data, conclusion should be there. Analysis, and then finally recommendations. Next slide please. We have gone through the extensive discussion of the report and what report can be. Based on that, now in professional sphere there are multiple types of report, and according to situation, now we are going to talk about how many types of report. Very quick round. According to use, report can be external or internal. An industry can prepare for it. If some accident happens, they will set internal inquiry as well as, like LED factory fire incident happened 2-3 days back in Greater Noida. You will find that internal inquiry will also be there. Government will also set up team of inquiry and they will visit. Similarly, the bad incident happened in the Maruti factory in Gurgaon. There were 2 types of inquiry. So according to use, it is an external and internal report. According to period, report can be set. See, newspaper is also a kind of report. What type of report? It is a periodical report, daily report. It comes daily. Based on that, some of the reports come like employment news in India. It is a weekly report. Some of the reports come fortnightly. Some of them comes monthly, then bi-monthly, then quarterly, then 6 monthly, and then annual report. Sometimes special reports are constructed for a specific purpose. So this way report can be of 2 types, routine and special. Next please. According to level of management, report to top management. And see, in a management factory, managerial level, in an enterprise, at the managerial level, you will notice that communication can travel from upside down or from bottom to top or grapevine form. So that way it can be of top management, report to functional management, report to junior level management and functional report. Next please. See, corporate reports. In corporate culture, you must be someday the part of corporate houses, industry houses, big corporate culture. So there will be statutory report where legal bindings will be there, directors report, they will be preparing for their own specific purpose, auditors report where funds and accounts will be observed, and non-statutory report, then other type of reports. Let us look at how many other types of report can be. These are certain situations we already discussed. But when we talk of that, review report, cost audit report, interim report, oral report, next slide please, non-verbal, verbal report, oral written, informal, formal, informational report and interpretative report, routine, periodic, annual, progress, laboratory report, inspection report, inventory report, confidential report, solicited report and non-solicited report. Solicited report means once you are requested to prepare a report. But when you talk of non-solicited report, means you are not requested to prepare a report, but you took some problems in your consideration and you want to sort it out. Like an able citizen of your community, if incident of thefts are getting more and more, you will write a letter to, if you are writing a letter to the DC, District Commissioner or SP, Superintendent of Police, means you are giving the report non-solicited. You take it into the cognizance of certain problem and you prepared a report. Next please. Here we also did an activity in the first part of that to identify that participants will be able to, what was the objective? To identify, relate and discriminate between subjective and objective language. So language is also of 2 types, subjective and objective language. For report writing, objective language is preferred. But what is negated, one should not go for subjective language. But subjective language is not always bad. It can be used in creative writing, it can be used in poetry writing, it can be used in story writing, and it can be used in various other purposes for personal communication. You cannot mix your life personal and professional. For professional life, objective language is preferred, recommended, and there is thumbs up for that. But for personal situation, subjective language is recommended, so thumbs down for the objective language there. So in that area, you will realize how to project and how to discuss. Next please. Welcome to the second session after having the meaning, origin and development and definition of report. Let us move towards report writing. And next slide please. How to write a report. What are the things you should be taking care of? See, while writing, there are certain mindset of the people. And how do they write? There is one mechanics of writing or writing style. We are going to talk of how many writing styles are there. So there is fast writing style. Very randomly I would like to say, some of the people think that my ways are highways. What do they think? That whatsoever they are writing, that is the way. Here I would like to talk about one example. One 7 blind persons were requested to describe an elephant, to report an elephant. 7 अंधे लोगों को एक बार ये सेट किया गया कि वो ये बताएं, इस बात की रिपोर्ट दें कि हाथी कैसा होता है. हाउ डज एलिफेंट लुक लाइक. पहला बंदा जाता है, वो हाथी के पीठ पे, एलिफेंट के पीठ पे हाथ फेरता है और उसके बाद कहता है एलिफेंट इज लाइक अ वॉल. See, one report, first report came that elephant is like a wall. Second reporter जाता है, blind है, वो जाके उसके पैर को हाथ लगाता है and come up and says that elephant is like a pillar. Third reporter जाता है, जाके उसके सूंड को हाथ लगाता है, वो कहता है elephant is like a python. Next blind person है जो जाके उसकी पूंछ को हाथ लगाता है और कहता है elephant is like a broom. कोई उसके कान को हाथ लगाता है, कहता है हाथी सूंड की तरह. My ways are highways. And they started fighting that who is the true reporter. So no two reporter of the world can report same incident in the same way. And here my ways are the highways should not be there. 7 blind person describing an elephant. Then moving to subjective expressions, we have already seen some examples. Subjective expressions, they have a lot of the use of personal pronouns like I, my, me, we, or us, you, your, you, they, their, them, something like that. Objective language is to the point. It should be specific. It must describe in the term journalistic approach what, when, where, why something will be there. And inductive logic and deductive logic. Let us look at the inductive logic and deductive logic. What is inductive logic? Drawing a conclusion by a journey from part to whole. From one part, but somebody will start and it will go to the whole. Holistic approach. Inductive logic. But deductive logic will from whole to the part. Deductively. Like it is a sort of scientific filtration of the information. Scientific filtration of the data and coming to the last residue of the most significant part, that is conclusion, suggestion and recommendation based on that. Journalistic writing talk of what happened, when happened, all WH question will be investigated one by one, applied there, and ultimately they will reach to the conclusion. So these are the various writing styles one should